By the end, I think most readers will know who did it, but the exact way they pulled it off is still... I have that freaking tripod in the shot, don't I? Oh well. Hello, my name is Ellie Barnes. I'm a writer and a librarian, and today I'm going to review a book written by one of my favorite authors, Career of Evil by Robert Galbraith, who is really J.K. Rowling. In this book, we're once again following Cormoran Strike, who is a private detective, and his assistant, whose name is Robin Ellicott. In the first book, we went into the world of modeling. In the second book, we went into the world of publishing. And in this book, in Career of Evil, we actually go further into the career of Cormoran Strike. He was a special investigator in the military at one point, and has been a private detective for some time. In addition to being the child of a rock star and a groupie, he's led a very large, complex life with a lot of criminal elements around him for most of his life. This is one of the reasons going into his life has been so fascinating in this book. Most of the suspects involved in the case he's working on are connected to him personally. It raises the stakes drastically higher. I am going to give you just a tiny bit of the plot because it explains why the stakes are so high for Robin Ellicott. In the very beginning of the book, she receives a package in their office, opens it up, and it is a severed leg, presumably from a dead woman. That's what starts off the whole investigation. The outcome of the mystery in the end had a lot of surprises in it. I think most readers will know who the final suspect is because it's narrowed down pretty well. But how he pulled it off is the big question. My only critique, and I really have struggled to find anything constructive to say because I loved it so much, is that we have other conflicts running along the main mystery. Most notably, there's a conflict between Cormoran Strike and Scotland Yard, which I really don't think is a spoiler because it's common in private detective stuff, and also he's successfully completed 2 cases in 2 previous books, so obviously Scotland Yard would know who he is and he's having an interaction with them. And in this case, he's having conflict with some of the people at Scotland Yard because of the past cases. The other big conflict, and the one that I think is probably the most fascinating of the book, is the conflict that's been growing for the last 2 books and really comes to a head in this book between Robin Ellicott and Cormoran Strike. The one constructive thing I have to say is that as far as those 2 conflicts are concerned, the book does end a little abruptly. Now, these 2 conflicts, I think, are going to run through the entire series. She's planned this for 7 books. But the resolution for the exact problems that they were having over the course of Career of Evil is a bit abrupt and a bit incomplete. As much as I believe she will resolve the conflict in the next book, it sucks a little to have to wait for a year. So once again, my name is Ellie Barnes, and I loved Career of Evil. I loved it more than Silkworm and more than Cuckoo's Calling. It is my favorite of the Cormoran Strike series so far, and I think the whole series is worth reading.